emptied and squeeze as many of the bastards in there as you possibly can.
So, like a super old person's home.
Like a concentration camp with a more pleasant twist.
We don't like old people very much, do we?
I think that's a given.
By the sounds of it.
Absolutely.
I think we've pretty much done that topic.
I think you're right.
I don't know what we learned. I mean, I learned about ossids, which was very interesting. And I'll do a bit of reading about that.
Yes, I hope you will.
Now, last week, I don't know if you remember, Nathaniel, you asked me to make notes.
Ah, yes, I'm glad you remembered, Richard, yes.
About my...
as soon as thoughts come into your head when you wake?
Yeah. When I'm lying in bed.
I remember, yeah.
Now, can I read you what I've got?
Oh, please.
Excuse, let me just clear my throat.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, I went to bed at 11:33. The temperature was 17 degrees. I was very tired. I was asleep almost as soon as my head hit the pillow. After a dreamless night, I got up at 7:18 and the temperature was 12 degrees.
Right.
That was Tuesday.
Okay.
Wednesday, I went to bed at 11:34. The temperature was 15 degrees. I was extremely tired and slept pretty much straight away. And after a dreamless night, I got up at 7:16 and the temperature was 10 degrees.
Yes.
Do you want to hear Thursday?
Yes, please. Yes, that'd be lovely, yeah. I think that'd be really valuable.
Thursday, I went to bed at 11:32.
2 meters, isn't it? Yeah.
The temperature was 14 degrees.
That'd be cooler.
I was extremely tired and was asleep pretty much as soon as my head hit that pillow. After a dreamless night, I got up at 7:13 and the temperature was 12 degrees.
Now, Richard, I mean, that's all very informative. Not exactly the most interesting bit of information that you've ever broadcast.
Well, what was the point in this, Nathaniel?
Well, you can just allow me to speak and I'll try and explain.
Go on, because this just seemed like a waste of bloody time.
Certainly what you've just smelled is a waste of bloody time. The point was that when you wake up in the morning, they're documenting the temperature and how well you've slept through the night. It was to try and encourage you to put the thoughts down onto paper as soon as you wake up. What enters your head, what you're thinking about, so we can get some sort of psychological profile.
Ah. Oh, I see, and I've taken a totally logical approach, haven't I?
You've given us a very informative but not so revealing factual account of your evenings, yes.
Did it come across a bit dry?
A little dry. It did come a little sparse.
Did it dry? I mean, how could I liven that up, Nathaniel? Help me out.
Well, as I said, if you just kind of listen to what I've just told you, if you
I have to play it back. I'll kind of phase you out for a few seconds then.
I'll repeat myself. I don't mind.
Go on.
Wake up in the morning, and then the first thing you think of, keep a little notepad on your bedside table and jot it down.
I tell you what, I'll try it again.
You'll try it again. Oh, good man.
I will try it again. I thought I was doing the right thing.
Well, I'm sure your intentions were good, and thank you for the effort that you've put in. At least you've taken one of my suggestions seriously for once, so I'm pleased with that. But if you can just put down your thoughts instead of the temperatures, that'd be great.
I will do, Nathaniel. I think this episode's kind of coming to a natural conclusion.
Seems that way.
Have you found it this week? Because, we don't normally after, once we stop recording, we have this conversation. I thought it might be interesting if we did it on air.
Yeah, that's an interesting take, Richard. I've quite enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed most of them. I know there was one a few weeks ago that I didn't really get enthused about. But I've enjoyed working with you again, as I normally do.
Good.
I've enjoyed the vibe. I've enjoyed the whole essence of it.
Good.
How about yourself?
I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and but it's there's a touch of melancholy as well, Because I now know that there's a whole another week to go before there's any point to my existence.
Well, there might be other points of existence. Your pecker might come to life, and then we'll have something else to talk about next week.
I do hope so. I'm looking forward to seeing the old boy again.
I'll be thinking about it, that's for sure.
I've got blue balls.
Well, I'm sure they won't remain that way, Richard. There's some they take a nice pink hue.
Do you remember when you were 15 or 16? I don't know what age you lost your virginity. The first time that you were with a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
I know about your ways.
Thank you for being.
You kind of enjoyed each other's bodies.
Yes.
Without bringing things to a close, as it were.
What are you doing here, Richard? Are you revealing yourself to us, or are you putting suggestions into my head?
No. Do you remember? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. I know. I can obviously you presenting the scenario in my head. I understand what you're trying to get at, but that wasn't how it was for me.
Just blue balls.
Oh, the blue ball thing.
That's blue balls, Nathaniel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So you've been at your love's house.
Yes.
And you fooled around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Got all kind of excited.
I'm with you.
So the juices are flowing.
Yes.
But then the juices aren't released.
Oh, right.
And so then you've got to walk home in pain.
What a peculiar phenomenon.
That's blue balls.
I've never had blue balls, Richard.
I've got blue balls now.
I've had empty balls.
My balls. Think about this now. I haven't had an erection in 2 weeks or more.
Right.
My balls have got 2 weeks worth of juice in them.
Good Lord.
They're big and blue and hard.
Well, when you do come, it's going to be worth hearing about, isn't it?
they're like golf balls.
I've got an interesting story for you there, Richard, because it bounces quite well off your revelations about your losing your virginity.
Go on.
Because I was in my early teens when I lost my virginity, and it was to a young girl. But with the same scenario as you presented, I went into a bedroom and we started to fumble and fool around, and the juices started to flow. And the thing is, Richard, they started to flow a bit too much. And when I actually ejaculated, she shrieked in horror and told me to get out. She thought it was some kind of weird substance that had come from a different planet or something. And I never saw her again. She was scared of the cum.
And was it normal? Was there blood in it? What?
Well, it wasn't green, no. Of course it was normal.
It was normal.
Didn't have
normal looking stuff.
It was that the milkiness, the milky creamy texture. And I was quite surprised myself, I must admit. But it's a shame it had that effect on the young girl.
Was that the first time you'd ever ejaculated?
It was actually, yes.
And there was copious amounts of it.
It was, because obviously I'd never ejaculated, so it's built up.
Now I'll tell you about my first ejaculation.
Yes, which is worth hearing.
I think I was about 14.
Yes.
I was lying on the settee in my dressing gown.
Mm-hmm.
A lovely brown dressing gown. Like terry toweling.
I know the one.
Lovely material.
Yes, very comfortable.
Very warm. I was watching The Pirate Planet.
Okay.
A Doctor Who story starring Tom Baker. And my hand just kind of drifted and I was manipulating myself almost absent-mindedly. I wasn't trying to pleasure myself. The concept was totally alien.
Yes.
And suddenly these pleasant sensations built up, and to a moment of climax that was overpowering, really powerful. And all that happened was a little tiny bead of semen appeared at the end, just at the end of my little pecker.
Right.
A little tiny bead.
Yes.
Just lost a little pearl, a little baby pearl. Right at the end of my Jap's eye.
Well. That's an unusual phenomenon, I would suggest. I mean, surely you know, when you're young and newborn, you're producing copious amounts of this productive liquid.
Not the first time for me.
No?
It's almost like my balls had to... I don't like using the word ball. I keep using the word balls, Nathaniel. I'd rather call them testicles. My testicles had to kind of gear themselves up.
I have to say, it sounds like your body is designed not to ejaculate. It seems like, you know, it's rather loath to deprive itself of that liquid.
Well, like I say, at the moment it's been 2 weeks, and whilst I've got the blue balls going on, I've got no great desire to ejaculate. I think most men after 2 weeks, they'd be sticking their cock into anything, wouldn't they? To try and get it out. Get it out of me!
Yes, I think you speak for the masses there. Your time will come. No doubt about that.
You think so?
I think so. I hope so.
Shall I write about it if it happens this week?
Well, that'd be lovely. We'd all love to hear about that.
Well, let's finish the episode, and perhaps, you know, the listeners we do have, if you could pray for me, just pray that I manage to ejaculate at some point during this week. I'd really appreciate it.
Yes, that'd be good. I mean, you know, if you can let us know as well about that, if you know, what you've prayed about, the nature of your prayers, that'd be lovely to hear about as well.
That'd be absolutely marvellous.
Okay.
Nathaniel, it's been wonderful. I'm increasingly believing that I'm falling in love with you. And I hope we can do the same thing again this time next week.
Yes, I look forward to next week's broadcast, Richard.
I'll see you then.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.